Okay, Rami. So, Rami, just tell me one thing that have I completed the chapter data handling with you?
No.
We haven't done data handling, and data handling is there in your syllabus, right?
Yeah.
So, Rami, you didn't even tell me that it's not been completed with you. I was thinking that the chapter has been completed for everybody.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll just quickly start with the chapter data handling only, first of all, because the chapter is coming in your exam, and your exam is scheduled on 20th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have enough time. I was thinking that I just have to revise the chapter.
No, they already took the chapter in class, so yeah, revision would be okay.
Okay, so you know something about the chapter.
Yeah, we have bar gram, pie chart, and histogram.
You have bar graph, pie chart, and
Bar graph,
histogram.
yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. Do you have a graph notebook?
Um, yeah, I think so.
Can you bring that?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
yeah, just quickly grab your graph notebook.
Okay. I might have my bar graph, my
Okay, so basically in data handling, look here, Anis. First of all, we study about bar graph. See, so what is a bar graph? For example, I'll give you one example. You have one horizontal axis and you have one vertical axis, right? This is the x-axis, the horizontal one is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis, right? Now let's suppose that I have to mark the number of students in class 8th according to the academic year. For example, in the year, so first of all, I'll just take some points and I'll start marking them on the y-axis. So let's suppose I'm taking 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. Okay, so I just mark these points. Now what do I do? For example, in the year 2003 to 2004, in this session, I had 100 students in my class. So I will just make a bar up till 100. So this bar is representing that in the year 2003 to 4, the number of students in standard 8 were 100. Okay, now I say that in the session 2004 to 5, there were 200 students. So now again, in the session 2004 to 5, I had 200 students. So 200 lies over here. So I'll just make a line like this. Okay, so this becomes number of students in 2004 to 5. Understood? Then in the year 2005 to 6, I have 250 students. So 50 students increase. So I have lines like this. So now what is this bar graph trying to tell us? I could have just directly written this data also. But see, sometimes the data is so vast that writing it is a very tedious process. Okay, here it is a very small data. I'm just mentioning the data for 3 years. Sometimes the data can be very vast. So that is why point number one is when the data is very huge, we can just easily represent it with the help of a bar graph. Point number two is that it is very like in a tabular form, whenever we are representing data in a graphical form or a tabular form, it becomes very easy to understand and analyze the data. So through this data, you can easily see that how many number of students increased per year. So like in the from the year 2004 to 5, from this session, how many students increased? 100 students increased. Then in the next year, 50 students increased. So it is very easy to interpret such kind of data. So that is why we use graphical and tabular representation of data in mathematics. Understood?
yeah.
Now let's suppose we have one more thing. We have doubles. This is a normal bar graph. Now we also have one thing which is the double bar graph. Okay, what is the double bar graph? For example, now you have, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. I see the number of marks obtained by a student. Okay, so for example, I am studying the data of 2 students. Right, now I say 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, now I am saying that I represent this data for 2 individual candidates, student number 1 and student number 2, like A and B, I can call them. So for example, in math, student A acquires 50 marks. So I'll just make a line like this. And now student B, I say, acquires 60 marks. So I'll just make a line like this. So this is for student A, this is for student B. Now in science, student A acquires 70 marks. This is student A. And then I have student B who acquires 50 marks. So 50 is here. This is student B. Now, similarly, I can plot such graphs for all the other subjects as well. So this is a double bar graph when I am plotting 2 individual quantities together on a single graph paper only, right? What does a double bar graph do? I could have drawn the graphs for student A and student B on different graph papers also. But why am I trying to draw a double bar graph? What is the reason for that?
To compare between student A and student B.
Very good. So a double bar graph helps us to in comparison of 2 things. So it helps us in comparison. Understood? So next we
Yeah.
have, let's suppose that you need to draw a graph. I'll just solve one question for you, how to draw a graph, then I'll give you other questions on yourself. The first question is
Ma'am,
that you have, yeah,
ma'am, I don't think I have bar graph questions, just mainly pie chart and histogram.
you told me you have bar graph as well.
Yeah, we just discussed that like a little bit, but then we mainly focus on pie chart and histogram.
Pie chart and history. So you don't have any questions for bar graphs. We
I
don't
don't
need to
think
practice
so. Yeah, I don't think so.
that. Ramesh, don't be confused. Be sure. Because like in your exam, if questions comes, then we need to practice that. Just grab your textbook. Just look at the
Yeah, because
chapter.
like in the notebook and in the class book we only did pie chart and histogram.
Okay, fine. So if you haven't done that, we'll not do that.
Yeah,
But I hope that you know the basics, and even if by chance the questions comes, you can draw it.
yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, can you draw it? You take the x-axis, you take the y-axis, you mark the points. You have to
Yeah,
take some bases. All of that thing is easy.
yeah.
Okay. So you have pie chart and you have histogram. Okay, so we come to pie chart, no problem. So pie chart is nothing but a circular form of a graph. Pie chart is like a circular graph. Right. Now, for example, I have like this is the center point, and now I am trying to study the schedule of a student, like how much time is he investing in all the activities of his day. So I see that he is investing 8 hours in sleep. So this is the amount of sleep that he is taking. Sleep is for 8 hours. I represent it like this. Okay, this is already given to me, so that is why I don't need to mention all the angles and all. But why am I drawing only at certain angles? This is the question. This is given to me. Then I have like 6 hours, the student is going to school. Okay. Then 3 hours, the student plays. Then other activities, for example, eating food, watching television, okay, talking to friends, anything else, the student does for it is counting for others, and it takes around 3 hours. And homework, it takes him 4 hours to do. Right. So now what is this chart representing us? See, the portion of the chart. For example, you see, sleep has acquired a greater portion than playtime. So that automatically tells me that amount of sleep is more than the time devoted to playing, right? So that is why the sleep portion is more than the playing portion. So in a pie chart, what do? We represent things according to their according to their value. Like whatever value does anything holds, according to that value, we are going to give them space in a circular form. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I ask you that can you tell me the proportion for each sector? For example, I say that sleep is 8 hours. Okay, tell me what is the proportion of sleep, or what is the percentage of the day that the student is devoting in sleep? How can I calculate that now?
First, ma'am, we can do that if we have like the angle.
No, I'm not going towards that thing. I'm not talking about angle. I'm asking you, like I say that sleep is for 8 hours. Okay. So what is the fraction of hours that the student is sleeping?
8/24.
8 by 24. Very good. It's 8 by 24. Now, can you convert this 8 by 24 into percentage as well? To
Into
multiply with
100.
100. Yeah, into 100 you do. So what will be your answer? 8 by 3. So 100 by 3. So approximately 33.33 percentage. Right?
Yeah.
Percentage. This much percentage of time of the day the student is giving to sleep. Then for school it is 6 hours. So the percentage of the day that is going in school is 6 by 24 into 100 again. So 25 percentage of the time. Okay, so that means out of 24 hours, the student devotes 25% of the time in school, 33% of the time in sleeping, and then like playing you have. So you will calculate 3 by 24 into 100. You will have 12.5 because 25 is 4 and again by 2. Yeah, 12.5 only. 12.5 percentage in playing. Here also you'll get 12.5 percentage only. Okay. And here you will get approximately 100 by 6 percentage. So this is how you can calculate the percentage of the time or any value that you have to calculate. Understood, Ramesh?
Yeah.
So if questions come like this, can you calculate?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm asking you like the fraction. How do you calculate fraction if the percentage is only given to you? For example, I have a pie chart. I say in a class there are 50% girls and 50% boys. So what is the fraction of girls and fraction of boys?
50 by 360.
Why?
50 by 100 in
50 by 100.
50.
See, I'm not talking about angle. I use the word angle?
No, no, no.
No, I'm just using the word percentage and fraction. So you think in that terms only. Whatever the question is, you start thinking in that terms. Okay, like if the question is asking you what is the percentage, what is the fraction, you start thinking in those terms. Don't go towards the angle thing. So
Okay.
girls would be 50 by 100. Okay, because like total percentage of anything is 100 percentage, and like girls is 50 percentage. So the fraction would be 50 by 100. So you get 1 by 2. Similarly, here also the fraction would be 1 by 200. Understood this thing?
Yeah.
Now let's suppose again you have a graph. I say you have walking time 40%. You take bus or a car 40 percentage of the time, and cycle you are using 20 percentage of the time. So what is the fraction of the time that you're devoting for walking, bus or car or cycle? How would you calculate?
40 by 100.
Okay, you have first 40 by 100 comes out to be 2 by 5 fraction. Here also 2 by 5. And here
1 by 5.
20 by 100, which is 1 by 5. Very good. Understood? So these type of questions can you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, there can be questions like this is the pie chart. You have 50% of the time, like how what kind of content are you watching? 50% of the time I say you're watching entertainment. Okay. Now 25 of the percentage of the time your content that you watch is about regarding sports? News you take 15% of the time, and informative content is 10% of the time. Now the question is like, which is the most watched content?
Entertainment.
Entertainment. Which is the least watched content?
Informative.
Informative. The next question can be like, which type of content is equivalent to sports?
Which type of?
Which type of content is equivalent to sports? That means like how much time are you devoting to sports? The percentage of sports is 25%. So what would account to, what is equal to 25%?
Um,
See, entertainment is 50%. So obviously it is not equal to sports. News is 15% not equal. Informative 10% not equal. So what is the answer now? You see,
now
when you add informative and news, what is 10% plus 15%?
25.
25%. That means the time that you're devoting to sports is equivalent to the time that you're devoting to news and informative content together. Right? So such type of tricky questions can also be asked to you. Understood?
Yep.
Okay, now we have drawing pie charts. That how do we draw? See, this was all about analyzing a pie chart. That how, see, the questions that can come are like, if they are giving you the pie chart, so they can either ask you fraction, they can ask you percentage, or they can ask you several questions like the one I told you for this pie chart. Okay, they can ask you like, what is the most watched quantity, least watched quantity, equivalent to this and that. So they can ask you only three type of questions when they're giving you the pie chart, right? Now the second situation can be they're asking you to draw a pie chart. So how do you draw a pie chart now?
We make a circle.
Yeah, first of all, yeah, I'll give you one example. Wait, let's suppose there is a study that was conducted amongst the students of a particular class, and the flavors of ice cream that they like were calculated. For example, the flavors were chocolate, vanilla, and others. Like 50% of the students of the class said they like chocolate. 25% of the class said they like vanilla, and 25% of the class said other names. For example, somebody said strawberry, somebody said some other name, etc. Right. So this is the percentage of students. Now what you do? You need to make a pie chart out of this. This is the question. You need to make a pie chart. So how do you make a pie chart? First of all, you do one thing. To make a pie chart, what is the prerequisite? That you need to like know what amount is the particular thing holding, right? I can do one thing. I can directly see that chocolate is 50%. So I have a circle, center point. I can draw a straight line. I can directly write 50% over here because this is 50% of the circle. It is occupying 50% of the space. So this is chocolate. Now you see the remaining 50% is again divided into equal parts, which is 25 and 25. Vanilla and other flavors. So this type of pie chart was very simple to draw. Why? Because everything was very much in, one second, Ramesh. Yeah. So here everything was like in symmetry. So that is why it was very simple to draw this type of graph. But now sometimes they can also give you numbers like here they replace the number to 60%. Here they replace the number to 20%. And here it is also 20%. Or here I say it is 10%. And here it is 30%. So now what do? You don't know what is 60%, what is 10%. So now you need to think about the angles. Okay, that what angle is the particular thing corresponding to. So first to find the angle, you find the fraction. Can you find the fraction of this? What is the
60
fraction of 60?
by 100.
Yeah, what is the fraction?
60 by 100.
Very good, 60 by 100. What is the fraction for 10%?
10 by 100.
So it becomes 2 by 5 first of all. This becomes 10 by 100, which is 1 by 10. And this becomes 30 by 100, which is again 3 by 10. Right. So this is the fraction. Now fraction of what? You can calculate the angle by multiplying all these fractions with the angle. Like they are fraction of 360 degree. So you multiply everything with 360. See, because why am I taking 360 degree? Because the entire turn is of 360, right?
Yeah.
So it's 360, 360, 360. You multiply them. You can cut 0 and 0 in these two questions. Here it is directly 36 degrees. Here it is 108 degrees. And here it is
72.
and here what do you have?
72.
1 second. 144 degrees. Okay. So now Ramesh, tell me one thing. Do you know how to draw these angles using a protractor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you
Mm,
draw them?
Sometimes, like, when I draw an angle, like, it becomes a bit unequal, So,
Okay. Do you have a protractor?
yeah.
Yeah. Bring your protractor.
Ma'am, I got my protractor.
Okay. So your protractor is something like this. Right. And it has center point and it has two markings. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 180. And from here also it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 180 degree. So you do one thing. First of all, you draw a circle. Okay. You mark a point. Like first, what angle do you have to mark?
60 degree.
It's 144 degree.
144. Yeah.
So how do you draw 144 degree? You keep your protractor on the center point. Okay. You keep it like this. Fine. And now you can take any zero. For example, you take 0 on the right hand side, like this 0 you are taking. So count from this 0 up till 144 degree, right? It will come somewhere over here and you mark this point. And now you join this line first and then this line. Do this much.
I did it. Ma'am, I did it.
Okay, Rami. So you get this is the portion for chocolate. Okay, now you keep your protractor on this line. So you keep your protractor something like this. It should align something like this. You start from 0 on this side and you count up till 36 degrees. Okay, so 36 degrees will be somewhere here. And now you mark this point and now you join this point.
Yeah, I did it.
So this portion is for what?
Okay.
Vanilla.
Oh, vanilla.
And now just do one thing. Can you measure the remaining portion?
Uh, what is the third one?
What are you saying, Ramesh?
What is the third angle?
I'm asking you that can you measure this third angle? Can you measure this? Measure it and tell me what's its measure.
108, right?
108 degree. Very good. So that means your answer is correct. It had to be 108 only. So it's correct. Others is 100. Clear?
Yeah.
So are you able to draw this pie chart?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ramesh, now we come to the next question. You have ordinary bread is 320 rupees. Fruit bread is 80 rupees. Cakes and pastries are 160 rupees. Biscuits are for rupees 120 again. And other items were for rupees 40. So this is a bill of a certain person and the total bill accounts for 720 rupees. So you have to draw pie chart for this bill. Can you draw pie chart? Can you draw pie chart, Ramesh? Ramesh, do you hear me? Ramesh, am I audible to you? Ramesh, your mic is off.
Yeah. Uh, should I calculate them now? Oh,
Yeah. Am I audible to you?
yeah. You're
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah. Okay. Please calculate them. You make a pie chart for them. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I found the degrees from.
Yeah. Did you find the degrees?
Yeah.
So just draw. Use the protractor and draw them.
Ma'am, I did it.
Okay. So we'll just discuss it. First of all, what you'll do, you'll find the fraction. So what is the fraction for rupees 320?
320 by 720. No.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramesh. What is the
320.
fraction?
320 by 720.
320 by 720. Okay. So you get
2.
it's 8
1
into
by
9
10.
and 8 into 4. 4 by 9. Then you get 80 by 720, which is 1 by 9. Then you get 160 by 720. So this is 2 by 9. Then 120 by 720. So this is equal to 12 into 6 is 72. So you can directly write 1 by 6. Then 40 by 720. 80. Okay, so we have 4 by 9, 1 by 9, 2 by 9, 1 by 6, and 1 by 9. Now you calculate the angles. So how do you calculate the angle?
We multiply them into 360.
You multiply with 360. Yeah. So what are the answers that you're getting?
For the first one, 160 degree. For the second one,
Okay.
for the second one, 40 degree. Third one,
Okay.
80 degree. Fourth one, 60 degree.
You get 80-degree correct. Then you get
Six,
60-degree
uh,
correct.
and 20 degree.
Yeah, 20-degree. Good. Correct. Now you just have to plot the points. So can you plot the points?
Yeah.
Okay. So we come to the next question. That means you can do one thing, like after the class, you can send me the photographs of all of your pie charts. Okay. You send the photograph to the team. They will forward it to me so that I can check that whether you've done it correctly or not.
Okay.
1 second. Let me find the next question. Okay, so you draw a pie chart for the example that I explained you. Like the schedule of the students. Sleep is 8 hours. School is 6 hours. Homework is 4 hours. Playing is 4 hours. And others is 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah. I'm done. Ma'am, I'm done. Ma'am,
Yes, Ramesh, have you done? Ramesh, have you done?
yes, ma'am, I finished it.
Okay. So, what's your the answer?
Uh, Sleep is 120 degrees.
First will be the fraction would be 8 by 24, right?
Yeah,
So, 1 by 3 into 1, 360.
120.
Very good. Next,
Cool. 6 by
6
24.
by 24 into 360.
Um, I got 90 degrees.
90. Okay, correct.
Then homework is uh 4 by 20, 4 by 24.
Yeah. So,
Um, it is 60 degree.
okay, 60, correct. This also 60.
Yeah,
This is 120.
30.
Why 30? 2 by
So
24 into 360.
360 by 12.
Okay, you have 30 degrees.
Yeah,
Okay. So, have you drawn the bar graph for that?
yeah.
Okay, good. So, we have one last question. You draw a graph for this pie chart. Favorite kind of food, like North Indian food. 30 people like North Indian food. South Indian food, Chinese, and others. 40, 25, 25. Okay. Can you draw a pie chart for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
The total people. The total are 120, right?
Yeah, you calculate the total on your own. You add it, you get 30 plus 40 plus 25 is 50. 90 and 120. Yeah, it's 120.
Ma'am, I'm done. Ma'am, I'm
Yeah, Ramesh, just give me a minute, then we are checking your answer. Just give me 1 minute.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, Ramesh, so we have first of all the North Indian food. What is the fraction for North Indian food?
30 by 120.
30 by 120, okay. And the percentage, the angle would be multiplied with 360.
90 degree.
Yes. Then you have
South Indian is 120.
120 degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4, 120 degree, correct.
And then Chinese is 75.
Good. Next.
Others is 75.
Yeah. So now what you do, you take a circle. See, sometimes you have, again, you have angles that can be drawn very easily. For example, 90 degree, right? So you have a center. So you can draw one line like this, and you can draw a perpendicular line like this. You can easily guess that this is 90 degree. You don't need no need to use the protractor for this. Okay, this is North Indian. Now South Indian is 120 degree. So what you do, you keep your protractor over here, and it should something be like this. You start from 0. So 120 would be somewhere over here. Okay. So this is 120 degree, which is South Indian. Then it's 75 each. So basically, divide these two into equal parts, 75 and 75. This comes Chinese, and this is others. Okay.
Okay.
Clear with the question?
No,
Yes. You have any doubts in any of the question, Ramesh?
no, ma'am.
So now basically in today's class, we'll just keep it up till here only. And then we'll continue ahead in the next class. Okay.
Okay.
When do we have the next class, Ramesh? What is the schedule? We have a
Thursday,
class on
Sunday.
Thursday, right?
Yep.
We don't
Yeah.
have a class tomorrow. And when is your exam? On Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to.
Ma'am, the exam has been test
What are you
tomorrow.
saying?
Ma'am, the exam has been the test tomorrow.
Please speak a little loudly, Ramesh.
Ma'am, we have like the weekly revision tests, right?
Yeah.
We
When is
have
your school exam? That I'm asking you.
20th Monday.
20th Monday you have your exam. So we'll be having 2 classes before Monday. Okay, so in the next class we'll be completing this chapter, data handling, because we only have one thing left. And like in the last class,